not long ago, a fan-made multiplayer mod for the game Bully got shut down and deleted after 24 hours for an unknown reason. Now, most people were kind of confused as to why this happened, and a lot of people hadn't even heard of the mod before it got taken down. So in this video, I'm breaking down the short-lived run of Bully Online and what actually went on. If you don't know what Bully is, it's one of Rockstar's older games that originally released all the way back on the PS2. It's basically GTA if it was in a school and you could beat up children.
Refreshing, ain't it?
It's actually really in-depth with classes and social circles like bullies.
Say that again?
This game's been sitting in the dust for that long. I think I was like 5 years old when it came out. So when the announcement from Swegda or Swegda, I don't know how to say it, and his team Fat Pigeon Development for Bully Online came out, it instantly became a bit of a talk of the town in the modding community. Now there's a little bit to this because we now know it was a legal shutdown, likely by the demand of Take-Two Interactive, the people who own Rockstar and the game itself. But it's not exactly cut and dry. We've seen them allow other mods like 5M for GTA survive, so it was kind of up in the air why this one got the boot. There's even been other attempts to revive this game like Bully MP, the MP standing for multiplayer and had a hand by the same developer, but didn't really take off because it was just the base game with multiplayer, which if you've actually played the base game you probably know won't really work because it's all made for single player. Bully Online got some extra attention because it aimed to fix all the glitches and addition of multiplayer features to the game like a character select, multiplayer minigames, a chat, and a whole lot more. They had pretty big plans for a multiplayer mod and it looked like they were delivering on most of it. So after being worked on for months and almost being ready to be released, this is in my opinion probably where Take-Two got eyes on the project. Just before it was ready, development did something that usually isn't done with mods like this, and that's they gave out early access to people who supported them financially, which when you're dealing with a mod that's on a game that you don't own and making money on, that's definitely a way to bring attention from the people who do own it. They'd set up something called a coffee, which is basically a platform that allows people to support or donate, kind of like Patreon. Now it's pretty fair on one hand given the effort they probably put into the mod to want financial support, but on the other you're technically monetizing another game's property, and in the modding community is kind of a big no-no. This was set up for only a few days before they stopped all monetization. Now the reasoning behind this is unknown, but I'm assuming they kind of realized. I don't have any of the proper numbers while it was up. They had a decent chunk of supporters. Despite this, they still had hundreds of active players playing Bully Online until the very end when this was dropped in their Discord. Sad news today, the Bully Online project is shutting down forever, which unfortunately means all the following is going to happen in 24 hours. Our official Bully Online server on swegda.com will be shut down. Development of scripts for Bully Online will stop. The source code will be removed from swegda.com. All our web pages referring to it will be removed. The launcher downloads will be taken down, and all Bully Online account data will be permanently deleted. Straight away, this definitely looks like Take-Two lawyers themselves wrote this up for them to post the way it's worded, but I'm guessing they definitely got a special type of legal threat, because it obviously makes sense to take down the mod, but if you go to Swegda's YouTube channel, there are all these videos about Bully Online. The launch one had like 300,000 and they're all just gone now. During this period as well, the competitor mod to GTA's 5M Yamp also got taken down. This mod wasn't even monetizing either, they were just going to compete with 5M. I can only kind of guess that as a competitor they might have had the potential to lose the money, and even the older Bully mod, Bully MP, that I mentioned earlier was also taken down with no stated reason. Although this could be completely unrelated, but I think the lawyers were just on a killing spree and just fucking cleared them all out at once. One YouTuber, English Ben, who's pretty amongst the GTA community, responded to the announcement saying, "There's two rules of modding. Don't create massive buzz around your project. Don't take money for your project. It really is that simple. Bully Online sadly broke both rules and paid the price. These rules may have not been the sole factor for a DMCA, but they make it infinitely more likely." Now in this 24 hours there was radio silence as to why it shut down. There was a lot of support against the mod being shut down, especially since it was reviving such a nostalgic game for people, and even though it was up for such a short period, there were even people gathering to celebrate its final day like it was the last day of Club Penguin. Where is everyone at? It's the last day. Boxing ring.
I think everyone's having like some kind of boxing club. I don't know. All right, let's go. Put me in, bro.
GG guys, GG. Bully Online, except the mod is too overpowered to be sued or taken down. Yep, the best mod right there. I'm fucking crying, damn.
My game crashed. Bro, I can't believe that the game is gonna be over, y'all.
And so after this, Swegda came out with a 9-minute video called "It Was Fun While It Lasted." This was a follow-up to the initial post, and then goes on to say this about the shutdown.
I have some bad news and I have some good news. So I guess I'll begin by telling you about the bad news, and then I'll wrap it up and soften the blow a bit with the good news. Fat Pigeon Development has ceased all development and promotion of Bully Online. That's no longer a thing we're pursuing. I can't get into specifics, but I'll let you take 2 guesses as to who's behind this.
Here he's obviously, and I'm going to say allegedly, talking about Take-Two Interactive, just for clarity. I do think it's weird that he can't actually say or even show this. I've gotten a cease and desist myself. Shout out to T Grizzly. They do try and put in some weird privacy stuff, but none of it is legally binding. At least it wasn't in my case. But like I said, he's definitely got a special type of legal letter, the stuff they had to do, so who knows what he's actually allowed to say.
I've seen a lot of people in the comment section saying that it's because of the coffee thing that we initially did, or because of the fact that we announced the mod instead of just releasing it spontaneously. I've also seen quite a few people getting hostile towards me and accusing me of being behind this. Let me just tell you, unlike all of the people speculating, presuming, and accusing right now, I've actually read the letter that was sent our way demanding that we cease development and promotion of this project. That being the case, me being somebody who's actually read what was said by the company that shut us down, I can tell you that this project would have been shut down no matter what. At one point, they sent us this list of different rules for modding. Like, hey, here's what you're allowed to do, generally speaking, exceptions may apply, and here's what you're not allowed to do. Even if we never did the coffee page and we never announced it and we just released it out of the blue one day, it still would have been shut down. Like, there's no way that this would have survived.
Now, you definitely can't discredit him when he says that the mod was not going to survive no matter what. I think in this situation, he could definitely be right. At the end of the day, it's very much up to the company to decide if they want to allow it, but it's a bit of a straw man's to say that monetizing it had nothing to do with it, since it definitely could have been the thing that brought it to the attention of Take-Two. I think what other modders and people like English Ben mean by don't create buzz and don't monetize is that once a mod's out and playable, it has a way better chance to survive, especially if you're not profiting from it. If you look at other mods like 5M, it was pretty much the exact same thing, but for GTA. Not only did this work by not monetizing and just dropping it when it was done, but it's now owned by Take-Two themselves. It's not to say this guarantees that Bully Online would have worked. There could be other reasons for all we know. Maybe Rockstar are already remastering their game with their own Bully Online. But when you do break those rules, especially before the mod is out, there's no doubt that it brings bad attention to it. It's also not unlike Take-Two to just pick and choose their battles, so they genuinely could have just gotten unlucky with this one. There are countless 5M servers that are actively breaking intellectual property which are just ignored by them. And there's even a Bully server that just ripped out the PS2 map that's still active right now. Also, I'm only snitching because they're pay to win anyway and they suck. Now, the people who paid money for this mod that no longer exists were refunded from what I know of. There's been a couple cases of people mentioning this as a scam, which I don't think it is. I think it was just a bit misguided. I'll show you this last clip, which is pretty interesting for what it was and maybe for the future of this.
In my opinion, this has never posed any threat to anybody. You know, this actually had a positive impact on the fan base. It led to people buying the game specifically so that they could play this mod. As some of you may recall, we actually released this project as open source. I'm not advocating that anybody downloads this and continues development.
It's pretty crazy, but you can actually almost see the Steam sales of the game enough to represent what he's saying here. It's nothing insane, but to actually see an increase in sales and 14 million interactions on a Twitter post about a game from 2006, there clearly was something to it, and it's pretty sad to see it go. Now, was it a mistake to monetize this? I think it definitely was. Was it the only reason it was shut down? Probably not, but I think it could have been a reason why it popped up on their radar. And will this be the end of Bully Online? I'm gonna say it definitely won't be. Like you just heard, people who played it had access to the open source of the game, so don't be surprised if you see Bully Online Bootleg Edition up and running in a few days.